Well, hello, my beautiful Cancerians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for December 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations, so if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading, and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Cancerians, this is your monthly reading for December. I always say this, I can't believe we're here already, but really, I can't believe we are literally winding down the end of another year. 2025, the year of the snake, has been full of transformation, of challenge, breaking the patterns to find your way, to making sense of things, and of course, let's face it, you certainly had to embrace your personal power to learn how to adapt. Now, you may not be feeling like it, but you're entering December like a total boss or a warrior or a warrioress. You've been through some stuff, and now the karmic rewards take place. But it's not over yet. Although November did bring a course correction due to 5 planets being retrograde, the planets shift gears this month to really thrust you into more positive outcomes. For December has arrived in all its glory, and we have officially moved into sparkly Sagittarius season. It's time to rewild, to lean into your spontaneous side and envisage new adventures for your future to come. This is the month to embrace duality and exist within 2 worlds. Now, there's one world where you live in the moment, make that final push of accomplishments to close out the year, then release all the pressure of the year gone by. Engage in meaningful conversations, get lost in music, be more active, and say yes to impromptu events and leave your comfort zone. Now, the second world is where you allow your mind to wander for your future, exploring all the new possibilities, reimagining what life can be, and of course, setting new goals as well as expanding on current ones. Now, Sagittarius season encourages wanderlust, so you might just book that vacation spontaneously or even that course that you've been looking into. For although December winds down the year, it's the portal to an exciting new beginning, a gateway, if you will, to the fire horse year that lies ahead in 2026. And what better way to set yourself up for 2026 than to exit through the Sagittarian gift shop of life? What are you checking out with and taking with you into 2026? And of course, what is firmly left on the shelf to gather dust as you speed away towards your successful and abundant future? And you're certainly speeding away. You have the Chariot card there at the end of the month. A lot of you, you're in your feelings right now, very philosophical. Your 12th house is influencing you there about your sense of purpose, but also, you may be lamenting the experiences that you've had and really shedding, letting go, cathartically leaning into processes that release in order to create space for more to come. Now, of course, this is a period where, you will discover a bit of a bargain financially because we have Uranus retrograding Taurus that will keep you, having your eye on your finances to avoid any future financial shocks. But also we have the final super moon of the year occurring on the 4th of December in the sign of Gemini, which can get a little bit chaotic. So you may be rushing around, running errands to get everything done, spinning all the plates. You may also feel a little distracted as you assess it all, reviewing your life choices and potential options for your future, as well as identifying what you have been tolerating and what you no longer wish to accept, so that you can be free to recharge and reset. Now, the Gemini influence may increase that deep desire to be more sociable, lean into community, your friendships, as well as your family or your soul tribe. Ultimately, though, you'll be making decisions that protect your well-being, choosing mindfulness over drama. Critical thinking also helps you listen differently too, breaking free from any limitations, whether that's limitations outside of yourself or within your mind. It's time to step into the realm of possibility, success, and abundance. Now, there is always the law of balance, of course, and December isn't going to be the easiest end of the year. There are some chaotic planetary shifts occurring that will affect us, which can trigger stressful misunderstandings or clashes with those who are close to us, and even amplify erratic courts, causing frustration. But this too shall pass as Jupiter and Venus get up close and personal, making it the perfect time to spread the love. If you're searching, you will find the love, and of course, spoil those that you hold dear with your love. Now, Mercury is finally direct. Thank goodness for that, because let's face it, this last retrograde has been a bit of a doozy, especially for me. But of course, this is where you are given the cosmic thumbs up to move ahead without delay or chaos on any plans or projects. Now, in terms of world events, please fast forward this part if you don't wish to hear it. Pluto is now deeply bonded to Aquarius, and it's with us until 2043. And this alignment, it demolishes systems which are crumbling or no longer working. On a personal level, you'll notice that things have not been working for you in certain ways, and it has prompted you to transform, shed, or let go. That's what the Year of the Snake was all about. And of course, the same is on a global scale as well. But with the partnering of Uranus retrograding in the sign of Taurus, this means revolutionary changes for tangible structures in society. Governments, people suddenly leaving or being replaced. Healthcare systems, technology, and banking systems all being transformed. 2025 was the gateway, the introduction, and of course there is more to come as we switch to new systems. We could also see a sudden digital glitch with apps, payment systems, social media issues, power outages, or technological collapses in certain areas as these new systems are tested. Now, you may have noticed that your cards took a long time to come out there, okay? This means you're being more discerning about the company that you keep, the things that you do, so that's really a good sign. I want you to be aware of that. Now, of course, market corrections are due. I got to tell it how it is, especially with the planetary alignments that are coming. You'll see lots of dips going on there with things that perhaps were doing well for some time. After a sudden peak, it could spark debates around a more sustainable financial method of exchange, and of course, triggering a revolutionary refusal from society and a demand for more freedom. Uranus is very volatile as a planet, and the Sun in Sagittarius, which is all about spontaneity, it will clash with Saturn, which is all about rules and regulations, occurring in the sign of Pisces. People's emotions get heightened, and this will occur on the 16th, which incidentally is the Tower card. So we could witness a global shockwave that makes people sit up and pay attention. I personally keep seeing a serious water-related event. So Pisces energy, Saturn, all of this energy may affect and kickstart like an underwater volcanic activity that will, of course, move towards a major water-related event. I hope I'm wrong, of course, and it may be something that literally shakes the foundations of buildings, some seismic activity. I'm not saying this is going to happen for December, however, I keep seeing it, which means it's coming close now. Also, I mentioned Uranus could bring about the sudden removal of a leader due to controversy, but I mean, take your pick. There's a lot of leaders right now with controversy swirling around them, so it could be any one of them, but also a well-known public figure who led a country, as well as a well-known singer drawing their final breath to be celebrated for their service and being the voice of an era. We will, of course, see increased debate around solar flare activity, disrupting energy fields. Magnetic poles are shifting too, affecting jet streams and ocean currents. Now, this could affect travel communication systems and cause delays. Perfect. In time for holiday season, it's always the way. This too shall pass, of course, but it's something to be mindful of. And 3i Atlas will make some unusual shifts that will be of note on the 19th of December that make defense systems keep a close eye. Now, as we close out the year, of course, your personal focus will really turn to where you feel like you belong. A lot of your coming home to self with this Empress energy and the Hangman, you really need to relax and look at the changes that you want to make in your life there, of course. But this is a period, of course, to make your personal focus on stillness, to find that home within yourself. And of course, personal reflection on the changes you want to make in your future. What do you want more of? What are you wishing for? This is also the time of year where everyone celebrates accomplishments. Remember, if you've been exhausted this whole year, navigating plot twist after plot twist, or just managed to drag yourself out of bed and find some sort of stability, this is still progress. And Saturn's karmic boomerang will reward you and arm you with opportunity for the new year ahead. And as Mars enters the exalted position of Capricorn, there could be a last-minute success, especially since it's your opposing sign, my beautiful Cancerians. I definitely see that you will benefit from this. We got the Chariot, which is a victory there for you. And I feel a lot of you, it's not a surprise though, you worked really hard for this, whatever this is. But also, you're going to leave the year asking some major questions, okay? Which are, who you are, what you want to be, what you want to achieve, and what kind of world you want to exist in. What are you taking with you and what are you leaving behind? You're in the hot seat and you get to decide. Karmic debt will be delivered with rewards that you deserve in the year ahead to light up your world, set your soul on fire, and be excited by all the good stuff to come. But you're in your feels right now with that moon energy. You're feeling very uncertain. For some of you, not all of you, I get this energy of feeling completely drained and almost like you wish the end of the year was now. You have the Ten of Swords. A lot of you have got so much on your mind. This time of year can present as a bit of a headache because, of course, you have so much to do. You put pressure on yourself sometimes to be perfect in situations, or everything has to be perfect. So it can mean that you put a little bit of extra pressure on yourself. So just be a little bit more compassionate with yourself. That moon energy can indicate overwhelming emotions due to stress. So you may be looking into more mindfulness during this period, because your 12th house is influencing you to do that, okay? A lot of psychological healing, a lot of deep thinking, soul searching, of course, looking at the things that perhaps that didn't go your way in 2025 and the things that are yet to come that are going to bring in a lot of reward. Two of Pentacles tells me you're going to be very busy during this period, very fast-paced, multitasking, but the moon energy is asking you to do a deep dive emotionally. So that 12th house, that's the deepest part of your chart. So I'm not surprised to see you being a little bit more sensitive than usual. And this can indicate as well as a time to connect to your higher self, to really connect to your spiritual path, or develop a deeper bond or sense of awareness on your emotions, receiving messages within your body to really listen. I feel a lot of you got to pay attention to your thoughts, okay? Thoughts become things, and the Ten of Swords can indicate that you are brainstorming for new ways to transform your life in 2026, but also you put extra pressure on yourself, and this may be a period where you overthink as well. Now, this part is not for everybody, but some of you, these are critical energies. I didn't choose these cards. You have the Hermit, you have the Ten of Swords, and you have the Moon. This can indicate some of you feel a little bit lonely or a little bit isolated during this part of the year. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. I see some of you, well, a lot of you actually, joining in some sort of group activity. The Empress energy and the Death card with that Two of Pentacles can indicate a more balanced energy where you integrate and meet new people. And with that Chariot energy, it could be a hobby or it could be some sort of group activity, maybe even charitable work that brings people together. And there is a sense of community, integration, and fulfillment. So I do see that happening. It's something that's connected to your calling there. And the Six of Swords can indicate that you meet a person who gives really sage advice. Someone who is just so calming to listen to talk to, and to kind of just shoot the breeze with. This person will become a very strong ally in your future. This person's a little bit older than you. They've had a lot of experience. They're so caring. They are so welcoming, so joyful to be with. And I feel like there is an affinity. So you could actually bond with a friend for life in this month, doing something that you feel is giving back to the community in some way, or there is a fair exchange, like you are connecting to your hobbies or you're doing something that really makes you feel fulfilled. Okay, and a lot of you, there is this energy of being in service to others because you have that Virgo card with the Hermit. So it can indicate that, you are like wanting to do things that matter, that light people's light and life up in some way. So a lot of charitable work starred around your energy. And if that's not you, some of you could actually give to charity during this period or do like a kindness to someone, even if it is a compliment. You have no clue how much it's going to transform this person's life. Sometimes we can walk past people in the street and we have no idea what people are going through. And one moment of kindness could literally change that person's life. So be mindful. I feel like you always are anyway, my beautiful Cancerians. But let's reel this back. This is a period of self-reflection. The 12th house is about your hopes, your dreams and wishes, but also it is about forgiveness. Okay, now forgiveness doesn't let someone off the hook if they've done you a wrong. It basically transforms your karmic load so you can set yourself free of the burden of carrying it around with you. If you're angry at someone, anger is a great energy because it is something that tells you that someone either overstepped a mark or a boundary or basically disrespected you in some way. And sometimes we can be angry at ourselves, especially if you have gone through a period of procrastination. I definitely see here that you are someone who's super busy. But I'm just highlighting that sometimes we can feel frustrated with ourselves, and that anger can kickstart us into either taking action or, reinforcing a boundary. And of course, sometimes we have to acknowledge that if we have been disappointed or let down or betrayed or angered by somebody, because the Ten of Swords is not a pleasant card to be in your protagonist energy, okay? It can indicate something ended that was quite abrupt or painful. I feel like you're doing a deep dive emotionally and setting yourself free, because you can be very angry at a person, maybe even rageful at a person, disappointed at a person. You're holding those emotions within your body. The other person's not feeling it. You could shout at them for ages and they could be like having a shield of disassociation. But you are feeling those emotions in your bones. So this could be a period where you're letting something go as you close out this year and say, you know what, I'm taking back my power. But coming back to the moon energy, I feel like you are leaning into your hopes, dreams, and wishes. And I feel a lot of you with that Hermit energy, you're exhausted, you're fed up. Maybe it's a little bit too peoply out there. I do see you getting involved in community in some way. But I feel with that Hermit, there's things that you have to do. You want to limit distraction during this period because you are ticking things off your to-do list. Ten of Swords is a list of things that are on your mind that you want to complete. So a lot of you are completing tasks to a really high degree to get everything done under the time limit of the end of the year. So you can go on a vacation. A lot of you with that Chariot card there's movement and improvement, but I feel a lot of you have been doing some soul searching this year, and it ends on the 12th house energy, which is about you empowering yourself and looking at where you feel like people misunderestimate you or, where you give away your power in some way. You're going to be thinking about your mind, mindfulness practices. So stepping away for a moment, even if it's 5 minutes. I mean, especially if you're a parent, it could be that you find some quiet time in the bath or sitting in your car, or a moment at work where you just sort of walk out of the office if you work in an office for a moment and just take 5 and just really think things through and get a breather. I feel like, snatching up moments of pause in order to deal with this, because this feels very much like you have a lot to do before you close out the year. No pressure there. You're going to get it done. You're going to feel very successful at it too. But this is a period of review card where you're really looking at where you feel like you belong right now. And you may want a little bit more independence, to go off and do your own thing. So you may surprise yourself or even, gift yourself a moment to go off and do something that just replenishes your energy and you get to recharge and regroup. The Hermit energy is to withdraw, but it's also a deep reflection energy where you go inwards for wisdom there. You speak your inner truth, your heart whispers. So this is about getting some quiet time to really listen about your hopes, dreams, and wishes so that you can elevate. A lot of you, this is a very healing period. And it doesn't mean that you went through some sort of hardship or heartbreak or challenge. It can be that this year's just been a lot and you've been carrying a heavy load. And now it is about winding down the year in a different pace. Now, December, the beginning of it with the Hermit and the Moon, it feels like it is very fluid. It feels very much like there's stuff you got to do. You may be like on top of things, but things get really fast-paced at the end of the month. Flurry of activity, either that's you going on vacation or perhaps you're hosting, being with family, friends, a lot of impromptu events or activities coming up. And for some of you, you may have booked things for December, and when they arrive, you're like, oh gosh, I remember I booked that thing. Should I go? Should I not? Some of you may think about canceling some things, but looking at the energy, I feel like you change your mind, you go and you have the best time ever. And it actually just changes your vibration, okay? So I feel this month also is a lot about learning. The 12th house is all about that, okay? Now looking at your cards, you'll be learning in order to kind of like advance in your career. So you could be downloading courses to try and set yourself up for next year, or get books in to kind of like get busy on top of your projects. If you're in a career, I would say a lot of you are looking to go solo or running your own business. You could be mulling that over the December period because you're someone who is very talented, very gifted there. And you may have toyed with the idea of going independent because you have a lot of knowledge already, but you may be upskilling, reinvesting in yourself by doing something creative and perhaps advancing your skills, honing them so that you can go solo. I definitely see here that you may have paused this for a little while to get some things straight, but I see 2026 as the year where you become an independent worker running your own business. Now, if you already have a business where you run your own services or goods or whatever it is that you do, the Hermit indicates you are super exhausted. You're doing it all, and you may find that you've had to withdraw in order to get everything done. So you may have been very kind of discerning about the events that you go to because you know that you have something to complete or get done, because if you don't do it, no one's going to do it. So I definitely feel your pain there. And there's going to be an energy of trying to find balance between all the responsibilities that you have and at the same time leaning into friendships, going out there, having a moment to enjoy the sparkle of December, pop-up events, and leaning into community or even just unusual places that have wonderful activities or, you know, music, joyful kind of ambiance. I feel you're going to try and find the balance. The beginning of the month, it feels more like you're on top of your goals because the 6th house is influencing you as well, and that can seem sometimes a little dull and boring, that house, but actually it's one of my favorite because daily routines, schedules, keeping you focused on what is necessary means that, you know, you are keeping everything running smoothly so that you can adapt should there be any plot twists there. But with that Hermit, I definitely see that you're in need of a rest. You may take a couple of days out if you are in a working environment, because there are some things that you want to do to prepare for, well, for some of you, it's prepare for family. There's an energy there. Some of you also have some extra family responsibilities. If your parents are still on the earthly plane, I see a lot of you maybe taking a day out in order to run some errands or bring your parent or guardian somewhere. That's coming out there as well. So sending you a lot of love. You're going to be on top of all of those things. Now, if you work in a company, I definitely see that there's energy where there is a flurry of activity. There's so much to do, and there may be a lot of people out of the working environment. Seasonal colds, vacations, it takes the workforce out. And a lot of you, with that Hermit, you could be holding the fort all by yourself, holding it all together. I mean, this can give you a little bit of quiet thinking time. You still got a lot of stuff to do. There could even be excess to do there, but it sets you up for a win. Someone in a position of authority or power has been watching you, noticing your skills and talents. You're very productive. You get everything done is what I'm seeing here, and they want to advance you. And with that Chariot card, there's some really great news. You may be offered some sort of new role. I mean, whenever you get the Empress energy, this is high promotion vibes, okay? This is something that perhaps you'll have to wait for, but it's something that is going to come in your future to be advanced. So conversations in and around promotion. Not everybody's getting a promotion energy for December, but I feel it's something that maybe has been put on hold or will be put on hold, but it is something that you will celebrate in your future. Promotion means more money as well, okay? So that's something that's coming through there. Also, if you're currently out of work and you're searching for work, the moon can indicate you're feeling a little bit nervous. The Hermit, you've thought about working for yourself there. You may take some seasonal roles during this time, like contracts, and it may come to an end. But I feel like there's two options here. One is there is a new role coming in that is sustainable and long-term. Working for a company with overseas links is what I'm seeing there. And you have to learn something new in order to be in this role, but they love you with what you have knowledge-wise already. They're just going to support your training in this. And I feel like you will be in a high-ranking position in this role, and it is going to be nurtured. And I feel this role is like you'll be there until retirement. Okay, so that's an option there. But also, if you're taking up some sort of contract work or seasonal work, they love you and they're going to ask to extend your contract. Now, this will not be long term. However, it will be something that is viable, that bridges the gap financially until this big role that's coming in for you shows up for you. Okay, so I do see you moving money around, as it were, but I also see these two options coming in. And as soon as there is a change, as soon as like a contract comes to an end, it feels very much like you're stepping into this new role. So perhaps the contract ends because you're stepping into this new role. So with a lot of love and respect, I want you to be aware that there is movement and improvement regarding the job sector, even in December. It may surprise you, but it's something that has been orchestrated. The moon indicates that something hidden or unseen is kind of willing its way towards you. And, you know, there's an energy like just when you feel like you're at breaking point or things are not working, suddenly the universe shows up for you. So that's coming out there as well. Now, I have to acknowledge that you have the Ten of Swords, you have the Death card, and you have the Six of Swords. A lot of you, there is this energy of thinking about people who are not with you during this time of year, people who are absent from the table due to passing away. With the Death card there, Ten of Swords can indicate that there is a lot of heartbreak, especially when you think of a person that you'd rather have their presence around. And I want you to be aware that this person, thank you so much, I'm so grateful. What I just heard was, oh, I'm still hanging around. So whoever this is, this energy that's coming through, they're still with you, okay? And there is this energy of being gifted something to do with planets or the planetary alignments. It could be an astrology or an astronomy kind of book or scroll or poster or something, maybe even a diary or some sort of gift that's going to come in your way. Maybe even a card, I'm not sure. But there's something connected to the planets or to astronomy or astrology that is gifted to you. And my guides are giving me that this person in spirit is saying, you know, I whispered in their heart to gift that to you because there's a connection to it. Okay. So I'm not really sure what I'm being given here, but I'm just giving you what is coming towards me right now. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from the energy. Sorry, I'm seeing someone cutting up food as well right now. So this is giving me an energy that every time, thank you so much, I'm truly grateful. Okay, so the image I'm being given is this person is present at the table every time you eat, okay? Because food equals love. That's what I'm being given right now. So again, with a lot of love and respect, please ask for the sign that you want specifically from this person. They will give it. I'm getting so many random things connected to food, connected to cutlery, spoons. I'm just getting a lot of stuff like that. So perhaps this is you having a moment where you're cooking or preparing food with love and you feel their presence. You're definitely going to feel their presence, okay? So again, with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy. Not everybody's dealing with that at this time of year, and I want you to be aware that this is something that has already occurred because the protagonist energy is in the Ten of Swords. That can indicate grief, lament, hardship, or trying to understand something, okay? So I'm just going to leave it like that. I want you to be aware it's not something to come, okay? I feel a lot of you are just exhausted in what happened this year, and you're like, something's got to give, something's got to change. And I feel like you're making that change this month. You're learning new things, learning new skills. I feel a lot of you as well, you have that higher calling with that 12th house. But, you know, when you have the 10 of Swords in your 6th house as well, this means you're going to pay more attention to mindfulness. What do you need to let go of that has been causing you worry, sadness, or challenge? This is an energy of, you know, distancing yourself from things that don't resonate with your future. So I definitely see that you're in the judgment energy and having lots of revelations about what, you know, makes you feel good. 8 of Pentacles is about the self. It's about learning about yourself. In terms of finances, I feel a lot of you actually have a natural talent that you have not really delved into, and you will kind of rediscover it in the month of December. And if you wanted to, this is something that could really make you money. But that's your call, that's your prerogative, because sometimes, you know, when you have a talent, when you kind of like force the issue to try and make it a business idea, sometimes we can fall out of love with it, or we can pressurize it. So it's about finding the balance there. Are you doing something in order to, you know, just submerge yourself in a hobby or a talent that you have, or are you trying to hone it in order to make money from it? That's your prerogative. But this is all about you dissecting the year that you've had and kind of releasing. You know, your 6th house is going to make you focus on your diet, exercise routines. You know, a lot of you, because it's all in the resistance position, there may be some excess, like going out there, leaning into partying or living in the sparkly moment of, you know, overindulging, as it were, just so you can like buy into the Decemberness. But with that 8 of Pentacles, it feels very much like you're still keeping an eye on things so that you don't go overboard, okay? 8 of Pentacles is also you know, financially keeping a tight rein on your finances, or making some financial decisions where you get really good deals or watch your spending so that your future self will thank you, because of course you are holding on to a little bit more of your finances. A lot of you may be moving money around during this period to make the holiday season work. If you're gifting, I feel like you're looking for fair exchanges or bargains, and you'll even hold off. A lot of you are going to hold off gifting or hold off spending until there are some sales on. That's something that's coming out there as well. But the 8 of Pentacles is an energy of working really hard and building on what you have already for a new opportunity. And of course, this is about leaning into the home life. Some of you will actually make some repairs during the month of December in your home. 6 of Swords in the resistance position. It tells me that there is something here that perhaps has finally come to the end of its shelf life. Okay, so this could be something that you're unable to like reignite the spark within it. For some of you, 8 of Pentacles, it is something that is tangible. So, you know, I don't really want to call it because I'm not seeing it, but it could be something that is practical, that you utilize, you know, in the kitchen or in your day-to-day living. It's not something that's a luxury. It feels something that is practical, that you need. So you'll have to get it repaired, fixed, or replaced. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. Now, with the 8 of Pentacles, you know, there is an energy here of perfectionism that you are paying close attention to. You want to make things great for people that you really care about. Remember, they care about your presence more than anything. And I'm talking about your physical presence, not the presence that you give. You are the gift, okay? Of course, if you are gifting during this time, I feel a lot of you with that Hermit, you may want to do it during a period where there are less people around. Some of you may even think about the internet regarding that. But, you know, it's always good to get involved in the high street, or it's always good to get involved in independent kind of shops or things like that, just to give back to people who are working really hard to share their talents. That's just my personal preference. It may not be yours, but looking at the energy, I feel like very people-y. So a lot of you are withdrawn in order to source, you know, less populated environments during this time, but lean into family and the home space. Definitely some DIY going on as well, or some change in the home space that makes your home space a sanctuary. 6 of Swords in the resistance position, of course, will go into the upright. It tells me you have been tested on a lot of different levels in your life in 2025. And it's been hard. Ten of Swords indicates you've almost like closed out the year already. In your mind, you've disassociated and you're already, dreaming of 2026 and beyond and what it can yield, because 2025 was a challenge for you and you're exhausted. You're drained. So a lot of you may be looking at the drain, the financial drain, the people drain, the environment drain, technology drain, whatever it is. I feel like you're just looking at what drains you right now so that you can move away from it, cut it out. Some of you may have decided what you're cutting out for next year as a declaration to self, a New Year's resolution, as it were, and you're going to stick to that. You're going to be so proud of yourself. There may be a moment of temptation, but you kind of like have willpower and you know yourself. You're like, no, and you actually have a glow up. Now, Six of Swords indicates you're tested, but also protected. And this is a period that indicates that you're moving into uncharted territory. Okay, so this could be that you're doing something new, bold, and daring because you're breaking through a cycle right now. And I feel you're connecting to, new things that excite you. The Death card is something monumental is coming to an end. If you're someone who's navigating the end of a breakup or you're leaving a neighborhood, if you're feeling a little bit out of sorts and you're searching for where you belong right now, 2026 is the year where you fully step into your power and also find where you belong. But you're doing the soul searching in December to really kind of reflect on your next moves. So if you have been going through a separation, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. I feel like this is a period of healing, moving away from turbulent energy, turbulent thoughts. A lot of you are managing intrusive thoughts at this time. And of course, I see that you're having a glow up. Without all that stress and strain of that relationship that has run its course in your life, the Empress energy indicates that now you're going to be attracting new suitors. You've learned a lot, you've had experience, you're mature enough, and of course, the Hangman is like, just you wait, you relax, enjoy yourself, this is your time, and if you are looking for love, I definitely see there are going to be some opportunities in your January, okay? December feels it's more like soul searching. Staying on top of your plans, making sure everything's in order before, you connect to family, friends. And, I feel a lot of you are managing important goals right now. And it may seem dull and boring to be focusing on budgets and repayment plans and savings and your responsibilities and tasks, but you've got stuff to do. And just because it's December and it's the end of the year doesn't mean you're not going to do that. But you are leaning into your hopes and dreams. And things take a turn at the end of the year for you where things get faster, but also there is a win. The Chariot card indicates, of course, movement, improvement, and a victory, and feeling motivated to kind of like step into your power, but also to celebrate something here. Something comes in that is going to transform the way you end the year. Okay, so for some of you, this could be a promotion. For some of you, there could be a small increase in finances there with that Two of Pentacles in your working environment. This could be in alignment with inflation, for example. I feel for some of you, there could be a bonus, a small bonus there if you work for a company where bonuses are given. But I would also say that a lot of you may get paid earlier in December. And that means you need to make your money go a little bit longer into January. Whenever we get paid a little bit earlier in December, of course, we're not waiting the 4 weeks or whatever it is, it may be 6 weeks or 7 weeks before you wait until the end of January. So you're going to have to, be very clever with your finances, move things around. I do feel like you get to save a little with that Two of Pentacles energy, because the Empress is someone who is all about conservation, comfort, expanding. And I definitely see here that you get to hold back on some of your finances and keep a little bit more for you there. But this is a card of empowerment. So on a personal level, I feel this is about you stepping into your raw kind of energy there and spreading the love, unconditional love for self, people that you really care about, welcoming people into your home, or getting out there and connecting and integrating into social activities. The Chariot card is all about transformation as well. So I do see that some of you may be upgrading your life. I definitely see like a new car for some of you, an upgrade of a car. And also I see you getting a good deal on this car as well. I would say hold off. If you see a car and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to buy it right now, then I mean, check, see how long it's been on the market, because I would just say by waiting, the money kind of decreases for the item. So it feels like you get some discount or some money off, okay? But shop around. Always, I see that you get the better deal here. Also, the Chariot card is travel. So a lot of you are just working super hard in order to tie up loose ends before you close out the year. You're very goal-oriented, very productive with that Empress energy. And it means that you have something on the go right now that you're nurturing. I mean, while you're away, you may even like wonder, how do you nurture your plants? If you are going away, some of you may be like sourcing someone to look after your plants, or perhaps if you're going on an overseas travel and you're not taking a pet with you, it could be that you're sourcing someone who can come in and check on your pet or be with your pet, house sit in some way. So I'm getting that energy as well there too. But your sixth house is really asking you to look at your health. You know, fast-paced environment. Do you reach for the quick fix? Are you juggling all the time and you cannot give back to yourself? I feel like you're changing that for 2026. I feel like you're honoring yourself in a different way. I definitely see that you're being super organized, and I feel like you are going to be very active at the end of the month. But the soul-searching part comes from your inner compass. Where do you see yourself next year? What is it you want to accomplish? I've said this before, and I'll say it again because it's popping up. You can have the most sophisticated GPS system in the world, but unless you know the address, the destination point of where you want to arrive, that GPS can take you nowhere. You have to key in the address. You have to know the destination. So visualization, the moon is going to help you with that, tapping into your visualization of where you see yourself at the end of 2026, when you look back. Because right now you're looking back at 2025. What do you see when you look back 2026? What did you accomplish? What did you celebrate? How do you want to win? See it like you have it right now, like you're literally reviewing 2026 and saying, yes, because there is a victory here. So I would say that Two of Pentacles is like, you can have it all, but you must find balance, okay? This is a card at the end of the month where you're going to find the balance between working hard and playing hard as well, but also you're going to see some things develop in very unexpected ways for you. The universe is shaping things up for what is to come into being for you, and one way or another, your dreams are manifest in the material world. You know, these are thoughts. Now, these can be intrusive thoughts. So a lot of you are being called to manage your intrusive thoughts now. As you get older, it can be that you're starting to learn to love yourself in a different way. But, you know, your thoughts become things. And the Two of Pentacles can indicate there are two major thoughts that you're having right now, and they will become tangible and positive in your life. So what is it that you're asking for? The Death card is definitely the closing out of the year, a transition to something greater, especially since you have the Six of Swords there. It's been a lot, a minefield mentally and emotionally for you as well, as you've worked super hard to try and make things work and show up for yourself every single day. You are achieving a lot right now, but I definitely see here that whilst Eight of Pentacles is in the resistance position, routine and ritual and repetition has worked really well for you to keep structure, but I feel like you want to be a little bit more spontaneous or have it to be a little bit more fizzy in 2026, where, you know, you want a little bit more adventure because you're leaving the routine aspect a little bit behind. The Death card signals some sort of change, but it also feels like a rebirth of your energy. You know, you are having some improvements. It's the end of a challenging cycle there for you. Something about you is different. It's hitting different. And as you move into, you know, the new year ahead, the Hangman is like, you learn a lot, okay? It means you sacrifice a lot to be where you are. And also, of course, it indicates that you feel it's time to end an old way of doing something, to step into your power, love yourself fully, and nourish yourself in a different way. This is an energy of you not allowing life to harden your heart, to be open to more good things to come. And the Empress is always successful, nurturing things until they flourish for harvest time. So I see some rewarding energy, some bonuses, and some well-earned rest at the end of the year. Even if you're working over this period, I feel this is a period where you get to catch your breath a little bit more. Do some thinking time. Don't overwhelm yourself with those thoughts because you are making an impact in your world. I mean, if you're connecting to family events during this time, there could be one person that's a little bit challenging. Okay, the Six of Swords can indicate an energy of someone who is not able to move on from a certain conversation. No matter how hard you try, this conversation always arises and you're like, oh, not this again. Come on. I thought we'd move past this. So this could be someone like a friend or a family member or someone that you have a constant problem with the same issue. I mean, it could be a neighbor, for example, but the Death card indicates that you put an end to this situation with the Empress energy by trying to be understanding, diplomatic, and direct, but also hold your power where, you can approach a situation in two ways, really, saying, stop this, I don't want this anymore. And of course, when you tell someone to stop something, they normally are going to do it more, maybe even amplified. But if you draw attention to it and be like, you know what, this happens all the time, and I really understand why you feel that way, but maybe we can come to some sort of positive conclusion and put this to bed. Is there something I could do that could make this happen? Is there something that you want me to look into, to address? And of course, then you state your claims to what it is that you want them to address. And I know that's an ideal world. Never really happens that way. But at least the conversation is out on the table so you can transform, because you're transforming something with love here, okay? Now, if you are looking for love, as I said, more opportunity in January. So this could be the cusp, of you meeting someone and sort of exploring it a little bit more. I mean, with the Hangman energy, I feel like you're giving to yourself at this time more than anything, and to your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and looking at how hard you've been working. And sometimes it feels like you're always in the same place, but you're going to see some major advancements at the end of the year. And if you're in a relationship with a partner already right now, I feel you and your partner, of course, there's vacation vibe talks here, but also a conversation about relocation. Some of you beautiful Cancerians feel like you've run your course where you feel like you've been living right now. So there could be some sort of advance, travel where you go and scope an area, or you go and do a recce mission with your partner, or even on your own to see if you feel like you belong there, okay? So there could be some major movements going on in 2026 where you relocate. This doesn't have to be overseas. It can be to a new neighborhood. A lot of you, if you've got your own business, you may be, deep in thought about running your business overseas or getting an opportunity to structure something in a certain way. I just feel like you have a lot on your mind. And normally you are someone who is an overgiver, but this period, this December, you're thinking more about your needs from a healthy place in order to articulate to get them met, not in a selfish way, but to incorporate what it is you need without losing yourself in this kind of season where, you're always giving so much of yourself, okay? And yeah, look at that. I can change my thoughts. Managing intrusive thoughts, that did come up. This can be some challenging thoughts, especially when you're on your own and in your 12th house. There's going to be some challenging thoughts. Okay, moments of solitude can make us think about all the negative or the things that are going wrong. Also, a lot of you, this is you withdrawing from any negative thoughts or withdrawing from anything that is hurting you. This could be a person, a situation, something limiting you. Could also be a substance that perhaps is just not reacting really well with your body. You're just saying no. You're creating that boundary to cut loose. And there's definitely a new start here that I feel like you've waited a long time to embody and launch. And I definitely see that it's going to be empowering, but also very rewarding indeed. So we've also got, I trust my intuition. 12th house is all about your spiritual journey, your intuition. A lot of you will be honing your gifts or finding a way to move into stillness. And you may notice there's lots of racing thoughts. Most people think that meditation is to quieten your mind, but actually it is to sit and observe. The more you observe, you'll see the chatter going on, but then it will get slower and quieter and more manageable. And that's when you come into a peaceful center there. But I feel this is about, trusting your hunches there. And for some of you, if you've been betrayed by a friendship or a relationship in the past, I feel like cathartically, you are letting go of some emotions to set yourself free. Ten of Swords is like, I'm done. You're done with so much. You're drawing the line in the sand, and I feel like this is going to really help empower you. Also, and my readings are not about aesthetics, I feel like you lean more into the ritual of giving back to yourself, beauty routines, moments with a book or a bath, not saving that special soap or that special perfume or eau de toilette or whatever it is for a special occasion, no saving certain clothes for special occasions. I feel like you're getting all the good stuff out for you, not for other people, but for you this time round, okay? And most importantly, I am safe. Six of Swords, you are safe to explore. You're being moved into uncharted territory, out of your comfort zone. This year was about that. But what is to come is setting you up for abundance, to feel more yourself than you have done in a long time. But I definitely see there is success. And sometimes success can actually make us feel a little bit nervous because it means everything changes. If you're getting the job of your dreams, but it means relocating halfway across the world, you've got some thinking to do. I feel like you're making the right decision. Trust your intuition, follow your heart and the whisper. And I feel like, you're going to feel the fear and do it anyway. And you're going to be so grateful that you did. Let me just go and get a trinket. Now, some of you, especially if you're a parent, some of you may be worried that a child has decided to go off and go traveling. They may actually announce this at, the end of December or very much like the last week of December. You may be worried about this, of course, and your worry, of course, may even try to talk them out of it, but they're very independent and they're going to have a great time. Relax. The Hangman is like, relax, don't worry about it. It signals the end of an era. You're still needed. Okay, they're still going to check in with you. They're going to have a great time. And you may actually travel out to see them at some point as well and just see how good it is wherever they are. And of course, they'll always come home to you. That's there as well. But your final trinket is the musical notes. This is you vibing higher. It's about embracing music to transform your vibration. It's also about connection, to live in the moment and to change your mood, change your thoughts through different ways. Music being one that elevates mood, of course. If you are someone who is a musician, you could actually get some extra gigs there coming in at the end of the year. There may be one that is rescheduled. Just be mindful. But it sets you free to go off and do what you want. I feel like they'll still pay in advance for your services. So that's something that's coming out there. Maybe you even replace it with another gig that's coming out as well. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates with someone out there because that was very complex. May not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor what popped out there. So thank you so much, my beautiful Cancerians, and love and light.